Alrighty, welcome to Masters Preview for 2018. Cannot wait to get started with this bad boy. Gameplay here in the background, if you guys are wondering, is from the Golf Club 2. I'm playing on the Augusta National, obviously. So the score is pretty much my English is terrible. Pretty much is a real course recreation of the course. So it's pretty much nails what exactly you'll see on the Masters, what the players will see this week coming Thursday. So hope you guys like it. This video is going to be broken down into 3 sections. Obviously, I'm going to pick my top 5 who can win the event, and then I'm going to have a look at the favorites, and I'm going to give you guys some outside contenders, guys who are not very kind of betting that could cause a few upsets. So anyway, let's crack off with my top 5. Okay, so my top 5. So make sure it's more interesting. I didn't just pick all the top favorites. So obviously, I go pick Speed, Dustin Johnson, Tiger, McIlroy, Spieth again, Dustin Johnson, Jason Thomas. I kind of felt that was the wrong thing to do, so I decided to pick a different guys from different betting. So obviously you can pick one from 10 to 15, one from 16 to 20, one from 20 to 30, and then one from 30 to 50, and then finally from 151 plus onwards. So try to keep it interesting, try to keep it a little bit interesting. I think it's things good, but yeah, as I said, I will be talking about the favorites after this section, like the guys, the Speeds, the McIlroys, all the favorites. So we'll get into them eventually. Don't worry about that. Anyway, let's crack my first one. My favorites win this event. Now, this might cause a bit of a shock to some people. Some of these are definitely interesting. I think some people definitely have an interesting opinion on some of these ones, but if you guys have an interesting opinion, give me your top 5 in the bottom, the comment section below. And if you like my guys, give it a like. If they don't like it, well, give it a dislike. I want to hear why. Anyway, first up, Jason Day is my number 1 to win this game, and you can get him at odds 19 to 1 when I looked at him today. Pretty good odds for a guy I think is destined to win the Masters at some stage. Now, he might not win it this year, he might not win it next year, but he's destined to win it sometime. I'm not going to be the one forgetting to play him. Oh, wow, that's a terrible drive. Ouch. Yes, so Jason Day, one of my top candidates to do a big job this week. I'd be shocked if he doesn't have a really good week. I think he's definitely, I don't think we'll see the best of him just yet. I think he's definitely kind of a, we'll have to wait until we get to towards the business end of the season, but I think he's definitely a player that we all know could be world class. I mean, he is. I mean, that major that he won, I mean, to set the record the way he did against Whistling Straits was just, that was unbelievable. I that's still one of the best performances of golf performance I've ever seen. That was like vintage Tiger Woods-esque era, and that was, I mean, I remember watching that and just been like, wow. Like, my mouth was aghast. It was just so incredible. But obviously this week how he does, I'm going to give him a pretty high. I think he can perform well. The course fits him pretty well. I think it does suit to his strength, which I think is a positive. And I think he's got one of the best drives, best iron shots in the game, in my opinion. So I'm a big fan of his. He's easily my favorite golfer, so I might be a little bit biased there, but yeah, he definitely has a really good chance this weekend. I'm gonna go betting high. Number 2. This is gonna rattle a few feathers. Tiger Woods. Yeah, I'm all on the Tiger Woods train. I have to think he's probably the best chance to win. At Augusta, I think Augusta suits his game, of course, with that amazing chip at the 16th, back in like 04, 05. I mean, that was one of the first, golf I ever watched. I saw that. I don't know where I saw it, but I remember watching that and I was just like, oh my god. I was really into golf at the time, so it was kind of, probably what you could say, it was probably one of the reasons when I started playing golf, some things I wanted to try and emulate, but I'm 100% on the Tiger Woods boat. I was a little bit after watching the Valspar and watching, I was like, is this just, luck, or is he actually back? And right now I'm, 100% saying he's back for real. I think he is playing some of the best golf I've seen in years from him, pre-back injury. He looks in pretty much tip-top condition, to be honest. Let's be real. I think he looks fantastic. Oh my god, how did that not go in? But, this is the week that I think everyone, how good a golfer you are is out of how good you turn up the majors. He could turn up this week and basically shoot like a 30 plus 30 and he'd be out of the news as quickly as he's in it. But he is prime time. I'd love to see him on the finishing day up in contention. you can imagine him versus Phil Mickelson, and it'd be just unbelievable to watch. But hopefully we get that. I'm not gonna hold my what's the word? I'm not gonna hold anything to it, but it'll be great to watch. So I got a bit of a glitch swing there, and that's gonna cause me into the bunker.
It's gonna get rough.
Yeah, it's gonna land the bunker, isn't it? As I predicted. Anyway, my number 3, Decky. Oh, sorry, pardon me. Tiger Woods' odds are 13-1, and Jason Day's are 19-1. So some good odds there. Hideki Matsuyama is my third one. He is 36-1. Wow. Okay, so big numbers there. Now, I think Hideki Matsuyama might be the best player. He can be one of the best players out of the tour. Was he his best outside of America and Europe? Because I do think Jason Day is that number, but he is easily a top 3 player outside America and Europe. He is so reliable, fantastic player, and I think anyone who like I saw that number 36-1, and I was like, wow, that's a really not like a, but he's gonna do well. I think he will win Augusta one time. That's one of the things I kind of look when I compare. Do I think that person can win at Augusta? And that's one of the big parameters I use to decide, is the player good? And that's definitely something I'm looking at and saying, yeah, I think he can win at Augusta, and he's definitely a player that's going to be good. And you get 36-1 odds on it, you know, that's a really nice payout. Even if you put a tiny bit on, you're getting a nice payout of that. So I'm a big fan of his. I think he can be world class, and it just depends on his day. I thought he played pretty well last year, and definitely a guy that I remember kind of marking down as next time the majors come around, be remembered him, and don't forget him, because he had to be the guy last year, kind of forgotten. I said, I don't think he can win a major, but he really has turned up this year, and you know, made me look around and go, wow, he's legit. So definitely gonna not forgetting about him. So hopefully he does me good. Nice round the world putt there for a birdie. That's number 4. Number 4, Jon Rahm. Yep. So I decided to pick Jon Rahm. Interesting decision, people will say, but I think Jon Rahm is a world-class golfer. He might be the best in Europe right now, in my opinion. That might ruffle a few feathers, but that's what we're here to do anyway. But yeah, I think he's a world-class golfer. Had an amazing Irish Open last year, but that was the one I looked at and I was like, oh wow, this kid's legit. And the first real event, I looked at him and I was like, this kid is going to be a real problem for years to come for golfers. So I think he's got a legit chance of 23-1. I'm not as big as high as I am on him as others, but I do think he can cause a bit of a stir coming up this week, and I think it'd be disappointing if he isn't like up there in the top 20. I think that'd be a really, you know, disappointing kind of event for him. I think he's got the talent to be in that top 25. So if he does anything less than that, I think that would be a massive disappointment for him. I think he'd agree that would be disappointing, but we'll have to see what he does. He definitely has the ability. We all know he has the ability. He just needs to put on the table and, you know, do everything else. Anyway, my number 5 is going to be Patrick Reed. Go up that slope, did I? Nope, that's coming right back. Patrick Reed, one of the Patrick Reed, when it comes to the Ryder Cup, is always magnificent. I mean, he is pretty much one of the best golfers at match play in the world, I think. Well, obviously he didn't win the match play last week, but he's world class at that event, let's be honest. When he plays the Ryder Cup, I think he's the one guy I look at, and I don't think it was 2 or 3 years ago when I was in college. I looked at him and I was like, wow, Patrick Reed, I had like +8 to be in the lead after like 2 rounds. Slapped it on him, came back with, I think he was like 3 or 4 off, whatever. It might have been plus something else, but it was some huge number, and I was like, yeah, you know what? We're gonna take full advantage of this. We're gonna make the we're gonna put the money on the bet, and ended up getting a nice little pal that one. But I think he is legitimately one of the best in the world. I think 51-1 odds is pretty good, because I think he will win in Augusta eventually. He's that player I definitely would believe in. It'd be interesting to see how he gets on this week. Of course, he played well at the Arnold Palmer and the Valspar. I think, was he? Am I thinking of the wrong one? I think the Valspar is good, but I think he's at the Arnold Palmer. I don't remember. Anyway, I'm trying to recall this off the top of my head, but it's hard to say how good I think he was like that. But I think he's definitely a guy that I'd put money on. I think he's definitely one of the top players in the world. He may not be the most consistent player in the world. Like, he may not be a Spieth or a Dustin Johnson Thomas yet, but I feel like he's one of the, you know, he's a top class. You know, if I look at our cup team tomorrow, he'd be one of the first names in the team sheet. That's how reliable he is, I think. So Top class player there, absolutely brilliant. But they're my five top five guys. I think you can make a
145
case
yards or so to
for a
go.
lot of them. You make a case against a lot of them. I think a lot of people will say that and agree with it, but it's very difficult to pick the top five for Augusta. 'Cause I feel like Augusta, you can get, you always have that one guy that you look at and you're like, oh, yeah, he's a contender. You would have picked him to be a favorite from the minute the tournament, or you look at the start of the year and you kind of get different things. But yeah, let's take a look at what we think the favorite or the certain favorites that I've picked out. I've kind of admitted the ones I don't really feel have a chance. Hope you don't mind that. Like, Dustin Rose, I don't think he has a chance. I don't think Garcia has a chance either. So kind of admitted them out. And let's crack on the first one. Obviously, Jordan
More feet to
Spieth,
the
who
hole.
I'd
You can do
give,
this.
if I had a top 10, he'd probably be number 6.
Nice
So
putt.
Spieth's Mr. Reliable, let's be honest. He's got the best putting stroke probably of
Okay,
all
so we're gonna
time.
keep you at
Mr.
103 all
Reliable,
around.
pretty damn good when it comes to putting the ball in the cup on the green. So he is going to be good around Augusta. We know he's good around Augusta, and he does a fantastic job of
Okay,
this.
here we
But
go.
it'll be interesting to see how he gets on this week. Of course, he does have that, of course, that problem. We remember, was it 2 or 3 years ago, where everything just kind of fell apart for him. So be interesting to see if he has fully recovered from that. But
Nice.
I
Should
think
be
every of these
fairway.
golfers they have short term memories. They basically play the hole, move on, and if they have a bad year last year, they'll probably forget next year. So I'm going to put him high up there. I think he'll be in contention in the top 10, definitely. He is a dangerous, dangerous golfer when it comes to Augusta, and I'm not going to bet against him. Dustin Johnson, or sorry, Jaden Spieth's 11-1, by the way, odds. Dustin Johnson's my next favorite. 12-1, of course, had that freak injury last year that forced him to miss this event. Did he fall on the stairs, I'd like to say, or something? I don't know what it was, but he missed the event last year, just a freak accident. And last year before this term, he was just absolutely slaying everything. It was kind of the biggest shock we've kind of seen in a while. But I mean, when he's on form, he is. I mean, the way he drives the ball, I mean, it's something to behold. It's incredible when you watch him do it. But yeah, the way he hits the ball and the way he bombs down the fairways is incredible for this guy. He is definitely someone I don't know.
More
I think
feet. We can
this
do
is
this.
his revenge tour of Augusta. I think he's going to come out firing all cylinders come Thursday. And
That's a solid
he's going
break.
to be one
Great job
heck
right there.
of I wouldn't
Okay,
say
nice and
dangerous
easy.
player
Down
to
to
play
the
against, but I
All
think
right,
he'll
nice.
definitely be one of the players you look at. Everyone kind of goes, "Yep, he's back to his best," and I think that's kind of the performance we kind of expect from him. Dustin Johnson, or not Dustin Johnson, pardon me,
And time to set this
Justin
puppy
Thomas,
right
12-1
away.
mix of the two names. That's pretty poor on my part, but yeah, it's been a long day. Anyway, yeah, I think Dustin Thomas really announced himself last season as the guy that kind of was the breakout player last year, you could say, in a way, win that
All right, what do
major.
you
And
think
of
so far?
course, he been world class for a while, but everyone kind of knew he's that kind of player. So I'm interested to see how he gets on this year. I think he's definitely a guy that everyone kind of knows now, and people definitely be definitely want to watch out for 12-1.
Alright, looking
I
at
don't think he'll win this
40
event. I'm
yards
not
or
really
so to the pin.
that confident of him around a place like Augusta necessarily, but I would be tempted if the odds are a little bit better to put some money on him. But I think he's a world class player. I think he will win Augusta eventually, like the next 5 to 10 years. Whether he'll win it this year or
Distance
next
wise,
year,
looking dialed in.
he that's gonna happen. Apologies for that. That's my Siri going off
Nice
beside my
and
phone
gusty on the
beside
green
me.
there.
But I
And
think
for the
he's definitely a
bird.
golfer who will win eventually. It's just a matter of when, not really. I wouldn't say this year I'd be, jumping to bet on it, but I think we'll see him eventually win it. I'll put a guarantee on that. He'll eventually win it. Next favorite I have here, Phil Mickelson,
Little six
19-1.
footer here, nothing too
Phil
scary.
Tiger Woods on Sunday would be an absolute brilliant event to watch. It
Well
would be
done.
just,
We're in the
it
hole.
might break every golf number that we know. I mean, it would be pay-per-view worthy to
And
buy.
after 9, you're not doing
I think
too
Phil Mickelson
bad.
started to come back
Nice
this year. He started to look a little
little
bit better. I think he's
fade.
starting to play a bit better as well, which was good to see from Phil. I'm a big fan
Okay,
of Phil
let's see what
Mickelson's
happens
gameplay. I
here
like the way
on
he
this
plays.
par 4.
I think he can be a
Let's
fantastic
go ahead
player.
and
So
drop this one into the
I hope
fairway and
for
take it
for
from there.
golf's sake we get the best Phil Mickelson this week because he's a world class. He's got the best short game in the world. I mean, does anyone want to
Looking
disagree
good.
with that? I mean, is anyone better than what he can do from anything under 100 yards? I mean, it's world class. It's top line stuff. He is an absolute machine when it comes to those wedges in his bag. So I
Okay,
think he
looks
can
like we
win
have a right
Augusta any year.
155 yards to go.
It's just, do I think he'll win it this year? That's always kind of the preface that I go with. I think he can be. I think he can be a quality player. I think he can really cause. He can be up there in top 20, but the reason I pick my top five is like, do I think he's gonna be the player that will be right up there on Sunday? And to be honest, I just can't quite pick him there at the moment. I could, of course, be entirely wrong, and he could come out and win and prove me all wrong, and I'll be sitting there like, should have bet Phil Mickelson this year, and I'd be like, yeah, fair play, Phil, you got me out, and that could, of course, happen. So that's always a possibility, but it all comes down to how well he plays. I feel Phil Mickelson's kind of the up and down type of player. Like, you get him one week, he's top notch. The next week you get him and he's just hit and miss. So he's a good bet. He's a quality player, and I think we'll expect to see some good golfer this week, especially after he won that with WCW. So I'm expecting to see a pretty good Phil Mickelson this week. Next on the list, my favorites, Ricky Fowler. I'm a big fan of Ricky Fowler, but do I think he has the contention to win a major? That is the question. I think everyone, I look at this question every year and I say, well, I think he'll win a major eventually. The question is, do I think he'll win it this year, or next year, or the year? And to be honest, I'm not sure when he's going to win it. I really don't. I think I'll guarantee he'll win it eventually, like maybe 5 or 10 years down the line. But this year, I just don't feel like it's his time. And I feel like I'm never really going to pick the time he's going to win it. I feel like he's going to win it, and I'm going to be sitting here like, wow, Shells, you should have known that was coming. And, I'm going to look around and be like, yeah, I should have known it was coming, and I didn't. So I think he's the type of sneaky player that can sneak in and win a major, but I'm not 100% sure he's the guy I'm going to go out there and bet on. I think even at 21 to 1, I just don't think the odds there they're enticing enough for me to jump at and be like, I think I'd give him a run for his money at 21 to 1. I know that people disagree. I think some rookie fans will be like, we'll bet on him regardless of the odds, and that, I think, because sticking by your guy is an important feat. But right now, I'm not quite there with him yet as with others. Go on the hole. Oh, what a putt. Anyway, the next one, Rory McIlroy. Well, we're hitting the 12th hole, and the 12th hole brings back memories of McIlroy and his speed just disintegrating. And I'd be lying if I say I think Spieth and McIlroy are quality golfers, but I do wonder about those events. I do think they got over them, but it does make me worry about the, you don't really like. I think you get over them pretty quickly, but do you have those nightmares when you come to the hole again? You're like, oh, here we are again. And the same thing with why I didn't pick Spieth or McIlroy top 5 is I'm not really sure how I feel about those guys in those two positions. Obviously, Spieth, McIlroy are quality golfers, but this is where things get a little bit tricky. It's how much do you want to? Oh wow, it's a disaster. How much do you want to bet in these guys and certain things like that? And for me, it's definitely something I look at and I'm like, I'm not quite sure what I think of where I think McIlroy is right now. He could turn up to Augusta, win by 10 shots and we'd be like, wow, or he could completely disintegrate. I think that's kind of the hardest to describe where we see with him. He is, of course, a world-class golfer. We all know that. So I do think he's a good chance this week, but at 11 to 1, the odds for him to win are just, obviously money's been raked on him, I think, because I would not rank him 11 to 1. I'd rank him at 15 to 1. And I'm thinking as Snow's 15 to 1, I don't think he's a chance. So hard to say, but he could go anywhere. Anyway, finally, one of my favorite lists that I look at, Bubba Watson. Let's talk about Bubba Watson for a sec. Wow, was that event good at the WCW Dell Match Play? I looked at that event and I was like, holy moly. Like, I remember looking it up and seeing it say, Bubba Watson is 7 up after 6 or 7 or 7 or 8 holes. And I was just like, wait, what? Excuse me? He's up by how much? And that was a real kind of looking at it. It's like, oh wow, he's ready for the Masters type of look for me. And I think he'll be a problem at the Masters. I think he's won it before. Has he won it 2 times? I'd like to say he's won it 2 times, but I could of course be talking completely out of my ass here, but I think he's a world class player. He is legit one of the best players on Augusta. I mean, the way he hits the golf shots is amazing, but he is one of the players that I look at every event. I look at betting odds. I'm like, I just can't trust you. Like, he's the biggest hit and miss player. Last year was a disaster for him. At 17 to
Whoa,
1, I mean, he got him before the Dell
man, that's
match
really
play at
nice
wherever odds he
flight.
was.
If you sink this next
I mean,
putt,
I could see why you'd take him there. I think that would probably be a good one, but yeah, I'm probably gonna play it safe with him this year. I do think he's a really good chance. I think if I was betting top 20 odds, I'd probably put him right up there as well as a guy that I trust. But then again, he could hit you and be an absolute disaster. And that, of course, is the issue you get with these guys. And he's one of those guys that's really hit and miss. So
for the birdie
it's hard to
here.
say exactly where you put these guys, but
Yes,
he's one of those players I'm not really sure about. So, but
and
he
that
could prove me wrong. And again,
performance
I
brings
think
it down to
Speed, Johnson,
85. Not
Thomas,
bad.
Mickelson, Fowler, McIlroy, Watson. I think any one of them can win. Five of them guys could be the top five. And that's how good those
Okay,
guys
let's
are. But
go.
as I made my top five, I want to make it a bit interesting and I want to make it a bit more, realistic. And that's why I kind of picked different guys and not just pick the favorites because I picking the favorites is a bit boring.
Powerful.
So that's my opinion. You guys can completely disagree with that. But yeah, that's what my preface was. But anyway, let's move on from these two first sections. I'll finish off with my final section, the outside contenders.
All
So these are
right,
looking at
five
outside betting
yards.
odds. And I define outside betting odds by 50 plus 50. So I decided that's kind of, people that you wouldn't really expect to be up there, but I mean, I think some of these guys have a legit chance of, in contention. And that's why I call them outside contenders. So hopefully one of these
Looks
two
like
guys
Sleeping
can,
Beauty.
prove me right and, be right up there. Anyway, let's start off my first outside contender, and that is going to be Adam Scott. I've been a huge fan of Scott since he won the
Nice.
Players back in like
Par
2003,
for
2004
the
maybe, or maybe
bird.
2005. I feel like my golf dates I feel like are all over the gaff, but I mean, I feel like he's a world class player. I
Awesome.
definitely think it's 61 to 1. It's a pretty nice
One under
payout if
for
he
the
wins.
round.
Now, it's hard to say where I feel he can be or where he can play. It's all about how
And
he
time to
plays, to
send
be
this
honest.
ball on
And
its way.
it's a tricky one. I'd love to be able to sit here and say, yep, he can win this event, he can win that event, or yeah, I'd put money on him to win this event, or otherwise, because it seems like it's a difficult one to predict. And
It's looking good.
when Scott is on his A game, he's one of the best players in the world. I feel like he has maybe three or four bad ones for week, one good one, and that kind of ruins his tournament. I feel like if he can turn
Okay,
up at
we are
Augusta and
about
play 4
245 yards out.
good rounds, he can legit win. And it all comes down to how well he plays, of course, but I'd be willing to bet that he's going to come pretty well this year. I think he's a pretty consistent player. I'd bet my mortgage on him finishing top 50. So hopefully he can turn up and show up and do that. But
Bit of a dirty swing there.
it all comes down to a bit of luck, of course, around Augusta, and whether you hit the shot perfectly or hit the shot badly. That's how it kind of works. Anyway, let's get on to back onto their odds betting. Matt Kuchar, 51 to 1. Now, Kuchar, I feel, is one of the most reliable players on the tour. Like, if you're asked to pick top 50, he's one of the guys you probably put,
Green path.
money
Decent.
on being
Okay, let's
a
see what
top
we
50
can do
player.
with this
He's
7-footer.
quality, he does his job, he's, pretty reliable. I mean, he's been Mr. Reliable. Like, I think he's Mr. Reliable. He's always quite good, he does the job. And I think he'll win Augusta eventually. Now, I think
That'll
the
work.
clock is definitely out for him, rather than guys like Ricky Fowler,
And that'll
or,
keep him one under for the round.
who was I was trying to say, Patrick Reed. Maybe the clock's still pretty long for them. A little bit worried about Matt Kuchar's clock might be coming a bit closer, but
Alright,
he's
so
definitely a
let's
guy that
see
outside
what-
contention is worth a good bet. It's not gonna hurt you to bet on him, is it? 51 to 1, maybe a bit high for some people, but I think it's alright odds for him. I think he's a quality player, and I hope he does well this week. Definitely a pretty quality operator. Anyway, next player, Zach Johnson. Pardon me. Zach Johnson is 126 to 1.
You're on the green.
So if you bet 1 cent, you get how much back? 126, I think. So, or 127, I think. No, 126. So, yeah, this is an interesting one. Now, when he won the Open a few years back, I thought Zach Johnson was Mr. Reliable. Now, I'm hoping he proves me wrong this week, or hope he proves the bettors wrong, pardon me, because I definitely believe in him, but it's just so difficult to figure out where I see him currently, if you know what I mean. So it's difficult to figure out where he is in the world. I think that's the hardest part. He definitely hasn't been firing on all cylinders, and golf's a game where you get a touch one week and next week he can be a disaster. So I think he can be real class. I think he's definitely a guy that seems to fall under the bubble a little bit recently, and he could potentially use that as motivation to come from nowhere here at the Masters and just cause an upset. I mean, that's legitimately what I think he can definitely do. So definitely expecting a big event from him. I think he can be. I mean, he just needs to rediscover his golf form. That's really what's been putting him down. Anyway, next on the list, outside contention, Martin Keimer at 201 to 1. Wow. Now, I'm surprised Martin Keimer is this far back. I know Martin Keimer's been having not the best season. He also tour card in like 2015, 2016, and that has negative effects and everything like that. But Martin Keimer has won two majors, the USPGA and of course the US Open at Pinehurst, where basically set the course up basically suit him. But I'm also a little bit surprised he's that far back because he's legit. We all know he's legit. I mean, you'd be stupid to think otherwise. I mean, he could turn up at any event and I think do a good job. So it'll be interesting to see if he can, if he can refine his form, because he was world number one. That's the crazy thing. I mean, like, he's not just some guy who, turned up to the event and was, all right. He, he was legitly good, and I think people seem to forget that because he hasn't really been in contention. He hasn't won in a while. Like, he hasn't won since 2014. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what we see from him. I think it's important that he's a good event. See if he can get some mojo back. But especially in the Ryder Cup year, do I think he'll make the Ryder Cup? Probably not. I mean, he's too far. I think he's a bit too far back. But like Tiger Woods, a good year could see him back up there. But if he wants to come back in the Ryder Cup, he's gonna need a good Masters. He's definitely gonna need to turn up and prove to people that he can be legit. Anyway, let's talk about my final outside contender, Bryson DeChambeau at 81 to 1. I think DeChambeau is one of the bright up between talents along with John Rahm. Looked good at the Arnold. I think it was the Arnold Palmer. Yeah, it was definitely Arnold Palmer. I think it was Valspars. I keep mixing those two events up because they've been like 2 weeks ago now. But I think both players have legit. I think DeChambeau and Rahm have really bright futures. They are the future of golf for the next 10 years. I think they're definitely going to be up there with the Speeds, the Thomas and Dustin Johnson. So good to see them and do well. I couldn't pick another outside player. I was looking for hours. I was like, who else could do it? And I was like, oh, well, let's just pick Dustin DeChambeau and hope he does the job, because I'm definitely a believer in him, and I'm definitely gonna take the. I think he will. I'm thinking he's one of my guarantees to win a major. I think him and John Rahm will win a major pretty soon as they hit the False Frontier. But I think DeChambeau may be a few seasons away. Like, I think he still needs to fix certain things in his game, but I think he's definitely a guy that's got a heck of a bright future. He's going to be one of the golfers to watch out for years to come. Interesting guy, has that peaky cap. All those aren't the same length, so he's an intriguing player to watch out for, and definitely a guy that I think we'll all be watching and seeing how he does this week, as I missed the most atrocious putt I've ever seen. But anyway, this basically concludes the round here. I don't know how long we've been recording for. Let me whip back off my notes for a sec. Wow, 29 minutes. Wow, that kind of... How is that 29 minutes? Wow, that flew by. But wow, that was quick. Anyway, a disastrous 3 over. Just ignore the guy. I've not played the golf club 2 very much at all, if you guys know the game. Basically, I'm doing this both Chell's show and Chell's HD, my normal 2 YouTube channels. Yeah, not a bad round. It's definitely, like, the thing about Augusta, I think there's some really great holes at Augusta. I mean, we all know Amon's corner, 11, 12, and 13 are unbelievable. They're probably some of the best holes in golf. It's a tough course. I mean, that back 9, 3 bogeys to finish. No, probably 2 bogeys and a double bogey to finish after those, birdie at 13 and 14. But yeah, it's a difficult course. Hope you guys enjoy this podcasty style video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It was definitely fun to record. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoy. Oh, one more thing before I finish. Just want to mention this actually. This video is going up tomorrow, which is Monday. No, today's Monday. Sugar. Tomorrow's Tuesday, probably Tuesday the 3rd, I believe. So I'm gonna do a video. This video is on Tuesday. I do plan on doing a video on Friday after the final round has concluded of before the cut, and I'm gonna try and talk through some of the maybe integrate some of this video back into it or not. I'm not quite sure, but I'm gonna just talk about different things about different players like that. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll see who's good and who's bad in that list. But what I want to do is kind of like just look at certain videos. Maybe guys that I said I'd play well this year are getting cut or something like that, or I mean McIlroy or Spieth missed the cut. Maybe talk about that, or just talk about how the tournament's shaping up. Because I think after Friday you kind of see who the players are, where they are, and it's much more I think more interesting to talk about certain things. Maybe see how certain players are, but yeah, we'll have to wait till that tournament comes up and we'll find out then. But that's it. Anyway, peace out. Enjoy your weekend. No, don't enjoy your weekend. It's after the bank holiday Monday. Pardon me. My head is just spinning after this last week. It's been hectic. Everything's been crazy. But yeah. Anyway, guys, like, subscribe if you enjoy this. Both the channels. If you're into gaming, Chelsea Cheese for you. If you want sports-related stuff and other things, that's the Shell Show for you guys. But anyway, cheers so much for watching this. Whatever you watched on, I appreciate it. Anyway, I'm logging out. Enjoy your week. Cannot wait for this weekend. It's a great weekend of sport. Those 4 days are going to be interesting to watch. But yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Enjoy. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to subscribe. All links will be in the description below. And I'll see you guys on Friday. Peace out.